There are 10 key elements for an advertising-ready website, and we're going to go over them right after this quick promotional break. I'm just kidding. We'll do it now. The first one, check that everything's working. Now, you might be like, dude, I can't believe I'm watching this video, and this idiot just told me that one of the most important things is to make sure that everything on my website is working, but it is. It is, because I cannot begin to tell you how many clients we bring on. It's like, hey, the form is broken, the link is broken, the blog is broken, blah, blah, blah. Do this. Go to Fiverr and search for website check. And for no money, you can get a comprehensive search done for literally next to nothing. And they go through and they check every single form, every link, every page. And then, I don't know, do this once a quarter at a minimum. Check to make sure your site is working. It's not up to your agency to do this, by the way, which is really frustrating in some instances because they should be catching some things, but the line of demarcation is very blurry. Right? It's like, well, do I own this or do you own this? Because I built it, but you use it. So we put uptime monitoring on all of our client sites, but we have 200 clients. We can't afford to go through and have our employees check every single page of every single site every single day. And you don't need to do that. But make sure that things are working and then put in a standard operating procedure for regular website checks. Whoever it is that you hire, say, hey, can we do this once a quarter? And then now they've got a subscription continuity client. They'd love that. This is actually a good little business, by the way. If somebody wanted to launch an agency that did nothing but this, I think that'd be a rock solid model, and it's simple, it's understandable, and everybody would want it, and they'd all want it because it's like we've all had that thing where it's like, gosh, I just spent 2 days setting traffic to a page that's down. So for anybody that wants a business idea, this is a really good one, and it's one where if you white labeled, I think you'd have as much opportunity in the agency space as you would just in the direct to other businesses spaces, because people would start reselling your stuff. So check to make sure everything's working properly, and then have a recurring cadence for those checks. Number 2, accessible across all devices. This is easier said than done. It's not a point that I'm going to try to defend anymore. I remember as early as 2 years ago, people challenging me on the fact that they needed to be mobile. Like, no, my customers only use desktop. And I was like, oh my God, you sound so stupid. You're so stupid. Oh, your face bugs me. I hope you get egged in the back of the head while walking. That's benign enough to not ruin their day. You have to be mobile. But what's interesting about this is it's not just about the browser. It's about the device, the OS. I should say it's not just about the screen size. So again, going back to your website check, make sure that if you're checking on a Mac, somebody checks on a PC. If you're checking on iOS, somebody's checking on an Android. And just take a look at how your website resolves. This is also one of the reasons that websites need to get simpler, not more complex. I can web browse on my smartphone. Not well, but I can follow links and kind of engage with content. And the simpler the website, the better. And then, now Apple's got its glass and whatever that thing's called. That newfangled whiz-bang GoDaddy gadget? I don't know. Make sure that your site is working across all devices. And if that means simplifying things, by the way, brand guidelines be damned. I do not care what gradient you think has to be in the background across everything. Just make the damn thing work. That's number 2. Number 3, speed is critical. This is one I can beat up all the time. As a matter of fact, if you want to embarrass me, go check the Solutions 8 website speed right now, because I bet you it's subpar. It's because we're constantly, Yvonne's rolling his eyes at the moment. He's our CTO. We're always beating up our site speed, and then it's always, I don't know why. I don't understand it. I did this work. It's like code degeneration or something. Here's the other thing, too, is you have to use Google's page speed in sites if you're going to be using Google Ads, because the developers will tell you that Google's page speed in sites doesn't measure properly. And I agree with him, because I've heard the argument, and it makes sense. It doesn't take into consideration things like latent loading. What would you say? There's a way that the site would resolve for a human and a way that the site resolves for the computer, and they're 2 different ways. And Google decides that it's going to ignore some of the rules that are assigned in order to allow people to experience a faster website, even though things are loading in the background. Google still judges you for the background loading. Is the way that it was explained to me, the dummy. That said, doesn't matter, because ostensibly your quality score is based on user experience, which relies very heavily on page speed. So make sure your page speed is fast, super fast. Desktop is a lot easier than mobile. It goes back to having a simple website. Simple. Number 4, contact information is exists somewhere. First of all, you have to have this for compliance. Second of all, There's nothing more frustrating than I'm ready. I want to go. I want to do this. Let's do it. How do I get a hold of you? Now, you get to decide what contact information you put up. I've deprioritized the phone number on my website because I just noticed phone call leads just weren't as good. And we got so much spam, and it just wasn't, it was managerial, very difficult, and we've got a waiting list. And so, we decided to deprioritize the calls. If you're hardcore, that's always funny to me for clients who are like, we need more leads. We have to, fill up the pipeline. And then we said, well, we could prioritize phone calls. And they're like, no, we don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, then you don't really need more leads that much, because it's the balance of risks. Regardless, you have to have contact information somewhere. I like to make sure that no matter what, there's either a phone number or an email in the footer of your website. Don't make people dig for contact info. Number 5, clear call to action on every page. One of the easiest things to do is just anchor a CTA into your header. We've got free action plan basically everywhere across our entire site. Your CTA might be different. It might be page dependent. I prefer that, by the way, especially if you have multifaceted multivariant service offerings. But give people the ability to do something, even if they're at the top of the funnel, the tippity top. They're on the precipice. They're not even in the funnel. They're on the precipice of the funnel, looking down. Give them the ability to subscribe. Make it more compelling than just subscribe now. Let me spam you. But, give them something. Have a clear call to action. Use a contrast color. This is called the isolation effect, so that it stands out. And, at least do some list building. Number 6, make sure your content is clear and easy to understand. I know you're laughing at me right now. They're being like, oh, that's another obvious one. I bet you if I looked at your website, I bet you're using multi-syllabic what would you say, quadruple PhD required understanding. I don't know what I'm saying. Do you see why you need simple content? The average adult has an 8th grade reading level. An 8th grade reading level. Here's a pro tip, by the way. Go to Jasper or ChatGPT and say, rewrite my content for an 8th grade reading level. And if it elevates your content, then you're in trouble. Number 7, make sure that every conversion action you want to track has a separate thank you page. No matter what. I don't care what other people tell you is trackable. The separate thank you page is the most reliable because it's the simplest and the most archaic, to be honest with you. It's just brute force. It's like they went here, they did it, they didn't. All the other tracking mechanisms throw false positives, lose tracking, separate thank you page for every conversion action, no matter what. Number 8, verification badges. It's shocking how well these work. Anything you've got, secure payment, BBB, SSL, guarantees, free returns, make your own badges. Make your own badges that have all the things that you offer. This is especially true for e-commerce. It increases conversion on e-commerce sites, especially low-ticket e-com, really significantly. I don't love BBB, by the way, but, you can dance with the devil if you want to. You can turn anything into a shopping badge, into a badge. You can turn free shipping. If you offer free shipping, make it a badge. If you offer free returns, make it a badge. Go badge crazy. Privacy policy. You have to have one on your site. Easy to find templates. This is one where I'd actually say, it might be worth having an attorney look over the documentation that you're using things for, like privacy policy, return policy. I used to not believe that. I was like, just put it up, get a template from everywhere, it doesn't matter. But somebody taught me, Sin, I'm spacing on Sin's last name, or I'd give her proper citation, but she was one of the members of the DM Elite community, and she was an attorney, or a recovering attorney, by her words. And what she said that I thought was brilliant is she goes, look, throw $1,500 in an attorney and have him review all your documents, him or her. And then what's nice is for the rest of your professional life, that attorney has to defend those documents. And if anything ever goes wrong, you can sue their malpractice insurance. That's a hell of an insurance policy to have for $1,500. So, privacy policy. And then number 10, SSL certificate has to be secured. I think you're hard pressed to find a website builder that doesn't do this for you. But just in case, especially if you're doing custom builds, make sure you're HTTPS, not HTTP. And I want to know what I'm missing. What do you think I'm missing? The promise was 10 things that your website has to have in order to be advertising ready. What do you think a website has to have before it can be advertising ready that I missed? Call me out, shame me, make me feel bad about myself, help me juice the algorithm so I get a bunch of comments. I shoot a video every day. I hope this one's been helpful. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. It's Costing with your day, the Google News, and I'm so excited today. We're talking to Matthew Stafford, owner and CEO of Build, Grow, Scale, which has been one of the, I'd say, top e-commerce education companies for quite some time, Matt. I feel like you've been in it for at least as long as I've been in the game.